take it over.
Scott, can you see it?
That's you, Diamond Hands.
Now I can.
Okay, great. Scott, as always, thank you for the very nice intro. Brad, your audio sounds fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Wednesday, February 17th Q&A weekly webinar. We've got an amazing show for you today, so we're going to have to jump right into it because the hour is going to pass very, very quickly. First, disclaimer number one, very key to this part of the show. First of all, Trade Ideas is not any kind of registered investment advisor. No information in any way, shape, or form from Trade Ideas constitutes any kind of specific investment advice. This is for educational and informational purposes only, and everything is a suggestion, not a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. That's disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two is often given, Brad, in these types of webinars, which are so off the chart amazing.
It's a fair warning.
It's a fair warning. It's a three-pronged webinar. It's going to be eye-opening, educational, and entertaining. Most important, entertaining. And because of that, lots of people who are not subscribers to Trade Ideas, Brad has been one of them, and he's a subscriber and a user of the software, but he still makes his mistakes. They reach for their wallet so fast that they sprain their hands in the process of trying to get a subscription. And we just want to disclaim, guys, take it easy. We're going to have a discount code at the end of this webinar to help you get everything you need out of the software. Do not injure your trading finger or wrist. Right, Brad?
Trading finger, yeah. Okay.
That's right. All right, guys, we have an incredible show for you, and we're going to start with a little bit of what we have done last week, because the situation is still at hand, and you have to, as self-directed investors, just be aware of it. This is titled Bang versus Fang, and you should all read what this person is saying, because again, it's a metaphor, an alliteration for the feel of what is happening online in terms of the groupthink of the world versus some of the things you've been told. This is Fang versus Bang. Fang is the Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google paradigm, and Bang is this one. And by the way, Bang doesn't have to be literal. These are all the only stops that are going to work. But I'm trying to get you to feel the passion that is going on with this whole GameStop situation. It is off the charts, and it is not embedded at all. And as investors, as active investors, you need to be aware of it. And I'm going to be telling you some critical information, not just about GameStop, but about the whole game in and of itself that will make you, Brad, stop.
Pull your wallet out.
That's right. A glitch in the matrix. Guys, your eyes hurt because you never used them. You were seeing things that you were possibly were never meant to see, and certainly never knew existed. Like, for example, that when the institutions, when something happens and things don't go their way, they can just like the movie Trading Places, turn the machines back off, which is what happened in this particular case as GameStop started to rise very quickly and force some hedge funds to look at one another and cry for help. They asked their brokerages, Robinhood being the biggest one, and of course many others complied, to literally stop trading in GameStop. That stop has not really embedded the way you might think. And again, just be aware of what's going on. Trade Ideas instantly had the privilege to show everybody that we pick a side in this battle, and the reason we do this is because of these two arrows. First of all, Trade Ideas, and I've said this in many Q&A webinars before, but we have made our business through this thing called making a business and having it be profitable through good technology, and we did it without one red cent of venture capital.
It's a new concept, right?
Completely new concept. For your own, and I would do it because I bet 98% of you guys have never done it. You should go to our homepage, and this is actually now a hyperlink that tells you the backstory of how basically Brad and I and Scott and a lot of the team members of Trade Ideas got effed by a venture capital firm back when we were younger entrepreneurs, and literally learned the lessons of how bad and how things were not the way they were supposed to be. And certainly Robinhood is purely venture funded to cause disruption, which is a big venture capital word, Brad. And certainly they disrupted something. They disrupted the trading of GameStop by stopping the trading.
Among others, yes, they did.
Among others. This is a snapshot that I took because I want to show you what can be done if you don't understand the mechanics of the stock market. This is critical for you to see, and we've discussed this not only with GameStop, but with other stocks. This is a picture. This is not our trading platform, but you'll see it later when I'm on the trading platform. But it kind of speaks to what Trade Ideas is actually about. Idea generation. Well, first of all, look at the percentage moves that are happening here. This is right around January 18th or 20th or so, right? We're going from $50 to at the very top 500. Okay, so this can only happen when something unusual takes place, like there are no shares for sale. That's what was going on, and the hedge funds basically had to cry help and get bailed out, much like what happened in 2008 banking real estate situation. Okay, they got bailed out, but not in a way that you think. And I'm telling you this story both for educational and informational purposes, so you understand what's going on. A lot of times, if you don't know the underworkings of clearing and volume and naked shorting versus the float, you don't know that prices can be manipulated in ways that you probably wouldn't think so as being particularly fair. For example, a market maker can just lower their prices. Okay? So Trade Ideas, one of the things that we've done from the beginning is track this number called relative volume. And over the last several years, we made this number more and more apparent to people. And relative volume, in fact, some of the people in FinViz, I think, started copying this. But relative volume is this number that says not just what amount of volume is happening, but how is that volume relative to this time of day? So, and I believe, Brad, is that on a 20-day average, or what's that roughly speaking?
Yeah, it's actually a 30-day average.
Okay, 30-day average. So obviously, this 30 days does include the fantastic trading that was happening in GameStop when it was trading over 150 million shares and stuff like that. But still, right now, at 4 million shares, you're talking about a 0.16, which is 16% of relative volume, and it stayed right around, absolutely, Mike. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But yes, they're very undercapitalized, but that's not it. They're also, doing something that's illegal. But what I'm saying is that prices aren't as pure supply and demand things as one would think in the stock market, especially since it's electronic. And so I'm just simply showing you that here you've got 40. So we also track short float and float. So float means how many shares are tradable on any given day. Now, GameStop, I believe, Brad, has like 61 million issued. We have that number too, but the float really gives you the essence of what can be moved. And so still, as of the data that we have, just the most recent data, there's over 41% short, which short means that these people sold it and have to buy it back, okay? And George, absolutely, there's lots of option shenanigans happening, and you can see I highlighted that as well in terms of there's more put volume than call volume, and I'm guessing a lot of call volume is being done on the sales side, which is kind of like another way of buying puts. So the point I'm making is being aware of all of this lets you know that when you see a wave like this, okay, and by the way, you're going to see it in some other names that I'm going to show you, that this is a pattern that successful investors look for because it tells you this is kind of like what I say is called potential energy. Okay, this is pure physics, Brad, wouldn't you say? This is, you've seen this happened. So this potential is embedded within this situation. You already see, now the question is which way it's going to go. And Brad, for just informational purposes, we actually added the testimony in the chat of the guy who kind of started the whole Wall Street Bets thing. He's testifying in front of Congress tomorrow, and you can see his testimony. Brad, did you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I dropped it in the chat, and I had an opportunity to read it. It's super interesting, and I definitely recommend that everybody take a read on it. It's just a
And
four-pager.
that's why, yeah. So this way, you're not just here because we want to solicit your subscription, or that's not what we're about. I want to give you, first of all, this is going to be so good. I'm going to show you so many cool things. You're going to actually see something amazing and learn how I did it too. So we're getting a chance to tell you a lot of stuff, but here I'm just trying to show you why eyes are on GameStop is because of this. It's been artificially suppressed, and the potential for it to go is unlimited. Okay, so let's move on. So being trade ideas and being deeply into the market, we were curious ourselves how it is that how do they stop your orders? So here I want to show you guys, and I did this last week. This is why this is such another beautiful thing, because you're going to see something really cool. Okay, so I was trying to buy like first 10 shares and then 5 shares, and you can see my orders being rejected. Then I actually got billed on the 10th for 5 shares. Then I tried to buy some more, didn't get it. Buy some more, didn't get it. And I was very confused because you see here my account. Whoops. Let me okay. You see that it's over 100,000. Okay, and it even says excess liquidity, which you would think is pretty analogous to buying power, 7.3 thousand. So I tried to figure out what the heck was going on. And by the way, notice the equity. Okay, we're talking about 109 last week on Wednesday. So a lot of you guys were here. So that's another beautiful thing, is you get to see what's been going on. Okay, so this is today. I took a snapshot to see what was it really going on. And how surprising, Brad. I actually showed this to Brad, and I, believe it or not, I believe I actually posted this even on the Wall Street Bets forum, that here I am. Notice the equity. You guys will get to enjoy the show of how this happened, and you've seen a lot of it, and that's why it's so nice to be able to not just try to sell you on some technique, but lead by example. And unlike a lot of people, this is a real account. You'll see the account numbers. Everything is there. Okay. So, does everyone see this? Buying power, US zero. How do I have buying power of 0 when my account's at 145,000 and it's a margin account? I don't think there's an actual real way you can figure that out, because I'm pretty sure that it shouldn't be that. But needless to say, successfully, the brokerage industry, has prevented many people, myself included, from being able to acquire more GameStop, at least easily. How about that? In a free market sort of way. So I wanted to show you guys that this is possible. So when you're trading with your broker, you absolutely need to call them, talk to them. And when you're setting up an account, you should find out, well, what are the margin requirements? And from what I understand, they raised the margin requirements on GameStop to somewhere either 100%, which is not correct for margin, or 300. But I'm sure there's even more stuff going on. But this is certainly odd. And Robert, yeah, I've talked to them, but that's another one of those things. It's a customer support issue. Like, unlike trade ideas, have you ever tried to raise a customer support issue with your representative? I mean, the phone call and the waiting and you know what I'm talking about, right? Exactly. So, but I'm not annoyed about it, really, because I'll explain what's going on. I just wanted to show you guys that we are not just simply talking about it, we do it. Okay. And now this whole situation with GameStop is actually being picked up by mainstream media. And again, if you notice today, there was an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, and this is part of the education stuff. We're going to get the trade ideas, guys, but I just want to show you how this is a pivotal moment in time of all investing, as all of a sudden people are like, what's going on here? How come this is even Possible. Lewis, it's both. Okay, so we're seeing that there's issues with short selling that can really affect the way we can buy. Okay, and what I'm telling you guys, and the reason you should pay attention, is because it's a David versus Goliath battle that's happening in the marketplace. And obviously we are on the side of David, and you know what happened to Goliath, and it's about to happen again. And we have actually made it easy for you to be able to watch this all live because we created a Wall Street Bets channel on trade ideas that I will show you very soon. So this is the whole kit and caboodle. With trade ideas, one of the things that we are able to do very quickly is adjust our technology to what's going on. And so we made it easy, just like adding the channel bar in the first place to be able to show you our expertise of creating effective workspaces. Here's just another thing where we are paying attention to what's going on in the marketplace, and you now have a Wall Street Bets channel that's on everybody's channel bar, and you should pay attention. Let me minimize the presentation and kind of jump right into the exciting meat of what's going on. So can everyone see my screen? It looks like from the view diagram that it's coming through pretty well. Okay, love it. So remember, I was telling you guys, many of you, this is not your first rodeo here. Mike C, I mean, Mike may work for us. I don't even know. It's possible. Who knows?
I think Mike could put on the presentation.
Mike could, I may be Mike. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But the truth is, again, many of you have been here before, and the reason hopefully that you come, aside from my beautiful presentation technique and wit and banter, is because I typically attempt to, for the most part, lead by example. One of these examples is I actually trade a real account. So this right here, okay, right here, is this right here. Same account number, because Trade Ideas connects to Interactive Brokerage. That's one of the accounts that we connect to. When you go to connect, I have two things that are connected, our Interactive Brokerage account and our simulated trading account, which is right above here. And I'm going to show you, first of all, again, like I said, I like to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Okay, so in GameStop, you know, I'm down $4,500, which is not a great thing to be down, and I'm not bragging about it. But Brad, what is that thing that they say in golf that is so relevant? Play within yourself, yes?
Yeah, that's very true.
Now, Brad, what does that mean? Brad is a much better golfer than I am, although I do keep trying. But
Well,
Brad,
I mean, I think that means you have to really know what you're capable of. And if you're on a particular hole and that hole requires a certain shot and you just don't have that in you, you have to play within yourself. You have to do something that you're capable of to try to, you know, do the best you can on that hole.
right. So, and what I mean by that is simply, obviously, trading for 102 points down is not what I'm trying to do. But when I only have 45 shares, whatever impact that this can cause for me is obviously what I'm saying, something I can handle, especially when we are presented with this beauty. And I really want you to focus on it because, once again, this is real money. How many of you have ever seen an $82,000 gain? I don't see it that often, but I'm just saying I have. And the funny thing is, a lot of people haven't. And this one is even more so beautiful, Brad, because it's actually real, not in demo mode. So this is what
That's always true.
So this is what I mean by leading by example. So you're on this Q&A webinar, and your ears get bombarded with a lot of shit in the fintech business. You know, we have to deal with the Tim Sykes action and the gurus that are always trying to get your subscription money, and we get it. I mean, we do. But you have to figure out what's the real from the bullshit. Okay. You have to figure it out. And one of the ways we want to help you do that is by, number one, constantly demonstrating to you both the good and the bad, which we do. And second of all, we have to show you that it can be done. So this CCIV trade that actually, you can look at this beautiful entry right here. This was the real fill, 1053 right here. This is from this account. You may ask yourself, holy shit, Dan, How did you do it? Brad, I know, by the way, Brad's been watching this trade from the beginning, and every day he keeps asking me. I'm like, Brad, I told you yesterday. Barry too.
No, it's really funny. I mean, it's good that you point that out, because I do recall the day you got into it at $10 in that area, and you kept talking about it. And I'm like, I just missed it, and the whole emotion that goes through your mind when you're like, am I too late? This really gives you a good perspective on actually what is too late. It's just a matter of perspective, really.
Oh, 100%. And this is the beautiful thing. Number one, notice, gentlemen, that we have made from 10 to 57 is 5x. That's 500%. That is possible. It's possible in a relatively shorter time than you would suspect. Why is it that I didn't sell? Why did I not take profit, for example, here when I was up, I guess, whatever, 5,000, or here, or here? You have to ask yourself a simple question. Are you ready to make bigger money than you ever imagined? So, and I've said this part before, and I'll say it again, there's a lot of confusion in terms of what trading is. People often accidentally, mentally paint themselves into a corner of what's called day trading, where you believe that you must exit the trade and get back into it or get out of it the same day. I believe, Brad, that was part of some, that narrative was put on us, and I think it was put on us so that we wouldn't actually actively manage our money. Because yes, getting in and out of positions every single day is very daunting. It would be like playing tournament golf, Brad, pretty much every day, right? And pros don't do that.
Extremely draining, very tiring.
Yeah, pros don't do that. Nobody does that. The idea, and once again, this is the part where you must be paying attention here, okay? Pay attention, guys. Everybody's goal is to actually do what I did with CCV. We often do not succeed for various reasons. Some of them, well, it goes actually against us and we're forced to use risk management, okay? Other times we exit where we think we exit, but then we don't get back in and it runs without us. Both of those things, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, can be effective risk management strategies. But there is also another strategy of the Warren Buffett. That is, when your money was never at risk, let it work for you. This is what happened to me. I happen to have gotten in at an incredible price this day, I believe. Okay, and it never saw that price again thereafter. Think about that for 1 minute in what I'm showing you in the stock market. Okay, I got in on this day, and this was the one and only day it saw that price. That happens, by the way, and it happened. It happens to people that, for example, bought Apple in the mid-90s, when it was coming out of that funk battle with Microsoft, and Microsoft actually had to bail Apple out, like with some ridiculous $50 or $100 million loan. Brad, you remember that happened?
Yeah, I did.
And that was like around 96. And if you had bought Apple at that time and you are still holding it right now, you're not really worried about where you're spending your vacation or how you're paying your bills. That is the possibility of having your capital work for you. And again, part of it is risk management. Part of it is that I've been in this game for a long time and I've seen things that other people haven't seen. So I was very actively trading the stock market in the mid-90s. Brad was there too. And from 1994 to 2000, Dell Computer ran 35,000%. Okay, not 500.
You couldn't day trade better than that.
No, it would be impossible. But I mean, but 35,000. Think if you had just put $1,000 into Dell, right? I mean, in 6 years, you had over $1 million. 3.5 million from 1,000. It's an unbelievable. But you can, please don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. And this is why you're here listening to what I'm telling you. Okay.
Yeah, and you do have to take into account the different splits that take place through that time.
Oh, totally. But what I'm saying is that I'm just trying to show you an example of this is possible. Now I'm going to tell you how I found this. Okay. This is what, okay, everybody who's not a subscriber, check your wrist, Brad. All right, guys, I use this thing called the Whopper. Brad, what's the Whopper? Give them some more games love.
You want the Whopper according to trade ideas or the Whopper according to
I think they're analogous. They're both.
Yeah, I mean, this is just really the supercomputer right here that allows you to run multiple strategies at one time in his simulated view up at the top in Brokerage Plus, and then have his live account down at the bottom being able to cherry pick which trades he wants to actually turn from demo into live.
Correct. Let me do something here real quick. So I'm going to go to strategies, and this is my blank check strategy. I'm going to edit it so you can see what's in it. Okay, something very, very simple that you would never ever think would actually be a strategy, but you're going to realize when I'm telling you what this is, how critical this is to your survival. And first of all, notice what I'm doing with this. Does everybody see this, Brad? What does this mean here?
So that means that the strategy here that you're configuring is going to be traded or acted in your simulated trading account, not your live account. You can determine which one.
I'm not trading this with live money. This is a simulated account. Okay, I'm going to say configure, just so you can see what's in it. Okay, so I'm looking at new highs and pullbacks
from the previous close.
Highs, and it doesn't matter. And you can ask yourself, well, Dan, that seems like a bunch of crazy bullshit. Like, why would that work? And I'll show you in a second. Works for two reasons. Number one, sometimes the entry is not the most critical part, because again, look at this chart on CCIV, right? When it goes from 10 to 56. Does it really matter which entry I had? Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? So during the day, the bigger picture is, if you understand what you're trying to do, is you don't have to get stuck in the magic golden goose entry signal. So what I'm doing here is I'm watching large volume, 4 times the normal amount, in something called the blank check SPAC channel. So this is, Brad, I'm pretty sure everyone has this symbol list.
Yeah, that's a server side list. So you could get to it by, if you don't see it right there when you click on the symbol list tab, you can click on that button that says add existing list in the upper right hand corner, and then find it from there and bring it over.
Yeah, like this. And
yep.
So there again, there's a lot of them. Where is it, Brad?
Yeah, it's probably right in the middle, because what we have here is we have not only the server side lists, which are in the upper half, but we also have any lists that you may have created.
Gotcha. There it is. And obviously it's highlighted if I had ever used our own symbol lists. But the bottom line is, so this is something you have. So I'm going to give this to you so you guys know. I'm going to say collaborate. Brad, do you think it's okay for a collaborate string, or should I do a cloud?
Yeah, you can do a collaborate string. That'll be fine. That'll give just the information. And you may want to show how you can take that collaborate string and drop it into an alert window for people.
Okay, let me go into the chat real quick and put this in. Brad will confirm that it's all correct. So I'm going to show you again how I got here and what I did. So here I am, beautifully watching.
I think we just lost your audio, big guy.
Watching Hypnotize. It's our amazing Whopper channel. Here's how I got into it. I went into strategies and looked at this thing called the blank check. Now, obviously, I have made it. You guys have not made it, but you can create this yourself. And there's lessons on how to do this. This is a little bit advanced stuff, but holy shit, for 500% return, Brad, is it not worth doing a little studying?
I think so.
I think so. Okay, so blank check is a strategy here that anytime a stock appears, and let's just go back real quick since we're after hours here. NYHI was the last symbol that went through.
You should be able to just click on that and it would update your charts. But
correct. Okay, so Mountain High Acquisition, this looks like a cannabis acquisition company, and it's a different risk profile than CCIV, and obviously you can tell that. Okay, so I probably would, but I'll still pay attention to it. And let me show you what I do. So in here, as soon as something is triggered, it'll appear and I will start getting into it. Let's look at it again. Edit trading strategy, entry time, that's open. Hold on a second, let me see, where are my shares? Brad, where is how much I'm buying?
It's a great question. Right click on that strategy and go to edit trading strategy.
Right. Hold time. Order details. Sorry, guys. Again, the Ferrari has a lot of stuff. So I'm buying 10,000 fake dollars. Got it? Of this stock. And I would actually probably put it to market this way. I'll make sure I get executed. Okay. And save as default strategy. So here I go. Stuff will appear in this window, and it'll appear right here as positions. And how I caught CCIV is something appeared in here, and here's what happened. The P&L of my, right here, which would appear on today's P&L, started to go up. And I was like, wait a minute, this simulated trade is working out pretty good. So I got into, because it was $10 at the time, 1,000 shares. And as it started to go higher to 1053, I bought in 777 more, because I felt that it had been in a very tight range up until then, and it had been. So that's how I was able to find this move. Okay, so from when this SPAC, do you see how the volume where I'm looking at the 4 times normal? So this is really the key component. And from there, it's just a question of risk management, right? So I was able to just get in. It was a great price, and I never had to be in any kind of panic selling. And this has continued. And the reason this is continuing so far is because this looks like potentially a real trading Tesla competitor, okay? And I'll just give you, let's see, on the market cap here, you have 14 billion with 57 shares in Tesla. Okay, market cap is almost $1 trillion. Okay, so we have 14 billion to almost $1 trillion. So if this was times 10, it would only be 140 billion, which would be 570 as a price. So that's what you can kind of think about in terms of some of these moves and why the industry just does not want you to know anything about it.
So I think one thing may be getting lost on people, only because of the fact that your simulated brokerage plus doesn't have any positions in it right now. But I think what's happening, maybe a good way to illustrate it, is what's happening when you turn that strategy on. It's automatically getting you into these positions. It's buying whatever number of shares would equal $10,000, but you're going to be in 10 plus positions here, and essentially the cream's going to rise to the top. You're going to see which one of those 10 positions are really outperforming the others. And I think that was the case with CCIV that day.
And I think what people underestimate, and this is what we have figured out, Brad, is how much P&L affects your perception of a trade versus just seeing it. Like you see like here, IMVT, right? It's moving, it's making, actually on the daily, this is exactly the kind of stuff, Brad, that I like. Big turnaround potential. See, guys, this volume, see this right here? I'm going to set an alarm right here, create price alert at 20. And I'm going to say, really like it. Just giving you a quick, just top of mind, right? So I just saw this IMVT, I placed this alert, and now I'm going to catch it if it starts to go. But I have to do a lot of work here where this automated strategy is going to get you into stuff. And as Brad said, the P&L will take the cream to the top and you're going to see what's working. And that is literally how I found this CCIV. Okay. And we brought up before, so take a look at this real quick. Just again, I'm on the same theme, right? So GameStop, you see this gigantic move, right? Let me show you another example of that gigantic move. See this? Potential energy, okay? Kodak. Almost the exact same situation. You guys see what I'm talking about? The potential here is very similar, and except now you don't even really see the older move. That's, you know, when people need to pay attention. I'm showing you again. So more size, being able to hold a $6,000 gain, because again, I haven't seen myself in any danger yet. And this is where you have to learn that sometimes good trading is not just always trading, but it's being able to maintain the position as well to have it run. So Trade Ideas is a scanner and trading as well through different brokerages. Right now, primarily through Interactive Brokerage, but very soon E-Trade, and we're constantly working, excuse me, to bring new brokerages online. So there's a API link embedded inside Trade Ideas that allows us to connect our Brokerage Plus, which is what you would use for any broker right here, to your broker, okay? So that's how it works. Listen, the TD Ameritrade API is a little problematic because of some real-time data stuff. We're trying to work it through with them, but you know, a lot of it's two-way street. We have to work with their developers, and it's not always as responsive as Trade Ideas would like. And all API business is tricky. Yeah, Tatton, the blank check strategy is a channel, it is an automated strategy. So with Trade Ideas, you can make strategies that are automated, okay, like this one is on, okay? And they will do all the entries and exits for you, and you don't have to put an exit in. So in this particular case, since it's paper mode and I'm not trying to day trade it, I don't have an exit in, but all throughout the day, I'm watching the P&L. Right now the screen is blank, but again, as Brad would say, during market hours, trades will appear and good ones will happen, and I'll watch them, and I kind of then use feel and my own expertise to get in, and that's where I found CCIV, because CCIV is also a SPAC, a blank check company, and that's how it's done. Yes, and this is the thing, Mark, it's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up for everyone. Yes, people, you can automate our demo mode. So you can practice automation. And today, automation really is a key to having a leg up, because the 1-2 punch that I'm demonstrating using this Whopper kind of technology, it's almost a new way to invest, because you're keying off of simulated real-time P&L. So it's like another way to be alerted, but alerted in money terms that you know are comfortable for you. You know, so one of you would put, where I have 10,000, you would put 100 shares or 500 shares or maybe $5,000. It's all becomes very consistent with your own self-identity and how you can handle risk. So it makes you trade better that way. Yeah, Mark, this isn't a beginner's tutorial. The Q&A webinar is more of like a philosophical and seat of your pants on what you can do with Trade Ideas, because we give you glimpses of the new stuff that we're putting out. See, this says development mode. So I'm always on a mode that's not really available to the public. So a lot of times you come here to see things first. Like again, we had a previous show about the Whopper, and it's just a channel, you know, and again, and the reason we call it this is because it's like that war game simulation. So you're getting into a lot of stuff, but you're not doing it with real money. But the stuff that's working, you can see the P&L, and then you can get into that with real money. It's one of a kind thing, guys. One of a kind thing. This is where we said you got to watch your risk today. Everyone's risk is in danger right now. When the Whopper thing is put into action, you will instantly realize that you're dealing with technology that you have never, ever seen before. It's like putting on one of those Oculus Rifts after only playing Space Invaders. It's a completely different level of tech. That's why we're kind of so pumped still to do these. Jeff, no, simulated trading is available with both premium and standard subscriptions, just different levels. Timothy, it's all good. First of all, remember, you're going to receive a video of this. You can play it over again. Second of all, there's a great link that Barry put up in here trade ideas, and I'm going to get into this in the conclusion of the webinar, but the thing that we are that's different from other vendors is that we have a complete support curriculum that's always ongoing, no finish line. We're making new features, we're creating better user experiences, we're creating better education. We have a YouTube channel full of virtually anything, everything that you can possibly do with the software. And there's, you know, there's education to support it. But what I'm doing here is I'm showing you, number one, in real life that it can be done. I'm nothing special too. Like, this isn't like $1 million account. I mean, this is like $150,000 account. And you guys saw it when it was under 100,000, by the way, for the people that have been watching this. So you see that I've, you know, just been able to do it. I've been able to put on the show of good performance because I'm doing what I say. Yes, you get all the real-time data with our simulated trading. You can't have delayed stuff. Okay, guys, this is the #1 fintech software in the world. Okay, I mean, and today's Q&A just kind of only scratches the surface of it. Let me just show you real quick. I'm going to change windows here and bring in the AI, which kind of works, Brad, a lot like that blank check strategy also. So this is right here, Trade Ideas Holly, and it's our AI that does trading signals all throughout the day. And I have it set to aggressive mode, which today I had a little bit of a loser. But you can see what the trades look like. You know, what it's trying to do. And the way the AI works, guys, if you ever watched that movie, Breaking Vegas, or actually it's a book, I guess. And I think the movie was Breaking the House. It's about the card counters in Las Vegas who were gaming the blackjack tables. So we kind of had the same thought process when we were doing the design for having an automated system. We were saying that obviously you can't really predict winners and losers, but you can see winning types of patterns. In other words, when certain statistics start to coalesce, we can see those statistics without having too much of a bias one way or the other, because whichever way they end up going, that's the way we try to go. And you can see here it goes both long and short. Everything is done for you. And in fact, what's really cool, and let me sort this, I think I already did by what's first in the open, but we also have re-entry for you. So if it goes in your direction, but then you're stopped out for some reason, but then it continues back in your direction, you still have the ability to get in. So here's an example of that. You bought it right here, and then this candle took you out with the stop, okay? But then you had the re-enter at 1 minute later, which would have been right around here, okay? And could have stayed in there the whole day. So the computer does some thinking for you, and there were, out of all of these trades, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 re-entries today, and there are some people that only trade those, because it's almost like it gives you the double. You know, it's like it went against you, but now it's going back in the direction. It's almost like a little bit of a safety lever. I know this guy, Barry. You guys know Barry. Barry loves this technique. And again, there's a reason for it. It's not like Barry doesn't know what he's doing. See, because you can buy, because you think it's, you know, pulling back and then think it's going to go, but then you get stopped out. And it's not always pleasant, but you get back in. Okay, 33, 9:35 re-entry time. Yeah, when did that happen? So like right around here. Okay. So
Dan, I had a couple people asking for the blank check strategy, so I dropped the cloud link into the chat. So for you guys that want that, you can just grab the cloud link.
Oh, right on. Yeah, guys, that's what I want to do. I want you guys to have it. I want you to see what I'm seeing. It's so good. Even if you're just watching it as an alert window, it's so good. Okay. But again, this is a fully embedded trading system within the software. These are its 3 trading channels, but this is a cumulative view. So you can just watch it like this. So now I have this window on another monitor and I'm just watching it. Okay. And it has everything. Stops, re-entries, entries, a full trading plan. You can take this and put it into simulated trading and it will appear, oops, here. So you kind of get an idea what it would be like if you traded your kind of money in it. There is no better way to learn. Okay. And again, our AI is a one-of-a-kind piece of technology in fintech because we're watching every single stock and we're doing statistical analysis on it right now. That's what we have our own server farm, no Amazon workspace stuff. It's our own. We maintain it. All the equipment's custom. It's in San Diego. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, crunching an immense amount of stock market data, just built from scratch for this. Okay. So William, how do you get into the sim? So do you see this right here? And for anybody who has trade ideas, there's a little button right here at the top on the menu bar. You click on it, it'll open up Brokerage Plus. Okay, and you can click either the live part or the sim part. There's also a channel right here called Shall We Play a Game? Because, you know, again, simulated trading and stuff like that. Click on that. Also will get you ready to trade. Remember, guys, that although I've been showing you a lot of really cool stuff, I didn't configure anything. Everything was already designed for you. And regardless of what you like to trade, okay, we have something for you. So a lot of people start their day in the morning like this by going to the pre-market channel, where you can see all the things gapping up and gapping down and just how things are moving. And then as the stock market opens, they kind of switch to a channel of choice. Some people like to play this momentum channel. You know, there's a lot of repeats. You know, some like things that are in gainers can also be here in the momentum channel. But there's just different flavors. And if you want to know what everything is, you can click on the toolbar. And there's a cog and there's a channel description that will take you to our website. And every channel kind of has a little bit of a write-up. So that you know what's going on. Like I said, we want to make sure you know what's happening. Hold on, I'm just readjusting everything. So perusing through the channels is a great way to, number one, see how different windows work and what you can do, and also just kind of understanding different workspaces, surging stocks. Again, you're going to see lots of things that are really good. Look at this. You know, we've talked many, many times about the fact that with trade ideas, you're never really going to, there's no possibility to miss something. There's just possibility of not acting on something, okay? Because you're going to be presented with the right things one way or the other. You're going to find that we have channels that show you everything. So the blank check, guys, see this? It's kind of a derivative of this channel, except I just automated that strategy, okay? But if you want to see the blank check stocks, okay, here they are. And notice, all looks very similar to that CCIV type of stuff. I mean, look, you're talking about from 11 to 18. Some of them have not started to go yet. So this is an example of one. So that's another way to say, okay, well, yeah, this one hasn't really started to go yet. Maybe it will soon. Everything here designed for you and a complete continuation of what you need to do. So you can break it down by winners, by losers, by earnings calendar. So here's something where you can see what's reporting this morning, reporting this afternoon, upside blowouts, downside blowouts. So depending on how you want to approach the market, there's a channel for you. And of course, you can actually create your own. So you can take a workspace that you design and make a channel for it, all right here, edit custom channels. So it's a very powerful piece of technology, of course. And I'm not going to show you every single channel, but of course, you can also find Barry's trading room by going to the bottom of the channel and seeing, of course, also what is moving in the after hours market in case you want to be prepared for tomorrow. Gabriel, I typically do not comment on whether we're in a bubble or not, because my perception of that would be potentially very different than anyone else's. And the idea is that you can stay in a bubble for 10 years. It's irrelevant whether we are in a bubble or not. All we simply is in an environment where it is up to us to take advantage and capture alpha. Painting a picture of bubble or non-bubble, for that matter, creates a bias to your judgment, and the only bias you need is risk management. That's it. Only bias you need is risk management, which is why I was trying to showcase to you guys that what I was able to do with CCIV was simply just that, a function of risk management, having an amazing entry price. And it did go, like, it was in the 7s below, you know, and this one happened to be the one that they're trying to say is a Tesla killer. So Ryan, we're speaking with Fidelity right now, on our business end part of the equation. We're talking to them, and there seems to maybe be some interest, but if you're a customer of theirs, send them an email and say, you guys must get Trade Ideas connected. You know, they listen to customers more than they listen to business people. All right, guys, I'm going to switch back to the presentation. Yeah, James, I mean, I wasn't very happy with Interactive about what they did either. It was disappointing. But that's why we said, you know, we're picking sides. We're with the apes, we're with the diamond hands, we're with the little people. I really recommend to you guys going to our homepage and clicking on that link that's a hyperlink about without 1 red cent of venture capital. Listen to this backstory so that you know who you might be buying a product from. It's a great story. And, you know, Brad, I have to say, I even love the part where, you know, yourself and me, and even Scott, who did the intro here, Scott was part of that other venture capital company. So a lot of the smart guys just ultimately ended up back with the original crew. And there's a great story here behind it all. And part of it is that you guys are venture capitalists. You know, we rely on your subscription dollars to feed our R&D, and we're kicking ass as a result of your help. We've been on the Inc. 5000 list 4 years in a row and going to be 5, and I think we're going to be much higher up than number 5. And very few companies that have done that, especially very few that are not doing it with any venture capital whatsoever. James, I love it. Mm-hmm. You know, you guys are talking about support. Some of the stuff may seem like a little tricky. One of the things that I take the most pride in is the team that we have at Trade Ideas. Fantastic team of people that help in all sorts of different ways. And one of the gentlemen who's actually been answering questions for a year in the trading room is Barry Anderson. And he runs our trading room, and he trades real money, but he also does simulated trading to show people how to do it. Does his own top lists. He has a channel on the channel bar that shows you his windows that he's working on. And Barry's kind of showing you the working man's way to do it. He trades, even though he works for us and is a team member and makes money working for Trade Ideas, but Barry also trades like you all should, which is for a living. And he's very successful at it. And there's at least 500 people in that room all the time where, you know, you see lots of different feedback from lots of different people, and it's a great way to get started, okay? I recommend highly trade-ideas.com/trading room. William, we're grateful for what you're saying. We're here to do it. One of the things we do is we provide a lot of free information, free ebooks, and kind of, you know, the lessons. We don't try to gouge you. We want you to be as informed as you can when you make a subscription choice. And one of the ways is by knowing what kind of content we provide. So we have these ebooks that we encourage you to get, and of course our Trade Ideas Trade of the Week, which is incredible, and everybody loves that. Suggest you sign up for that as well. But here on the ebooks, trade-ideas.com/earnings. And Scott, I'm sure if people go to the website, they get the prompt to sign up for the Trade of the Week, don't they?
Yeah, it's easy to do from there.
Okay.
We can also just go to trade-ideas.com/free and pop in your email address.
So the other thing, as we discussed before, all these aspects of the things that I showed you, you can actually have in a more educational environment with our professional traders who work for Trade Ideas, helping us teach you how to use this tech to optimize your trading, not just performance, but kind of like a golf coach, your technique. And where you do it is on daily support sessions, trade-ideas.com/live. You can do one-on-ones, you can do daily supports, and there's just lots of different ways for you to interact with our technology. Again, as Brad showed you, we have these things called cloud links, where we make it very easy for you to receive information and share information. One of the most important parts of the slide is this. You know, we often get people saying, man, $200 a month, that's a lot. We always say, you know what, we're glad that you said that, because that's going to help the both of us. Number one, you should not be trading. And number two, you're going to save a lot of money by not trading. So it's a win-win for everybody. I have to really tell you guys, honestly, okay, you have to be honest with yourselves in this business. If you cannot afford Trade Ideas, which cost $7.50 a day without any promo codes, which you are often very easily able to get, you should not be trading. Just being as honest as I can be, okay? That doesn't mean you have to have Trade Ideas to trade, but I'm saying, but if you can't afford a $200 a month thingy, you should not be trading. Because trading is a very emotional endeavor, kind of like golf, right? But with golf, Brad, you know what happens after I beat you every time we play? I just go home and drink it up.
That's what you do.
And it doesn't affect me per se, but with trading, you know, you lose 100, you're okay. Lose 200 the next day, you're okay. Lose 200 the day after, what's going to start hurting your feelings? Doesn't it, Brett?
It absolutely does.
Your feels get hurt. So you have to be prepared, okay? And if $200 a month is causing you financial pain, I'm sorry, guys. I have to just tell you like it is. You're in the wrong place. So this is how much it costs for Trade Ideas per day. And again, I'm very honored to say that I don't want all subscriptions, only people that can afford it. But for those that would like to, we have a 15% off first month for a year off Trade Ideas. Promo code opportunity, all caps. We do a webinar. Brad, what am I saying? Podcast. Sorry, I used to do this, but you know, something happened. I get kicked off of all social media and our own podcast. It's okay. No more. Yeah, they'll remember you some other time. But it's done by Sean McLaughlin and other guests. Fantastic podcast. Sean's done a great job taking over for me. And please search for the podcast on your podcast search page. We are very easy to get a hold of. We are active on social media. Of course, not me, because I'm banned, but other people at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, at Today Trader. And of course, although I'm banned from Facebook also, but you can go there and like us, and we're not prejudiced. Please give us a call at our phone number, or the easiest way, of course, is to shoot us an email. We have our support staff basically works 24/7. I don't want to technically say that, but it's like they are. They're so good. And typically, everything you send us gets answered as quickly as possible. So we encourage you to give us a call. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate everyone's ears. We know that we are competing for your attention. So thank you once again. And Scott, I think we're all good.
That sounds good. Yeah, just shoot any questions to info@Trade Ideas, and keep your eyes peeled for that email tomorrow with a link to the playlist where you can watch the replay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Dan and Brad and Barry. Have a good one.
Okay.